Hello and welcome to Hangoutlander. This is the finale of season 4 of Hangoutlander. You guys, if you're not happy about
Thank
that, I
God.
don't know what to tell you. What?
I said, thank God.
Yes. We're here. We have lasted an entire season of Outlander, and now we are in the home stretch. And it's just the OGs. It's me and Nikki and Becca. It's just us to talk about it. So if you really if you're that's normal OG, this is your group here. So I'm Beth. I'm having, I didn't even get out my flute yet, but I'm having some Prosecco because it's the last one. And I wanted to have bubbly. I'm also having peanut butter M&Ms and goldfish. And I have a cocoa Rice Krispie treat just in case things get crazy. So Nikki, tell us what you're drinking and what you are having.
Hi guys, I'm Nikki. I'm also having bubbles, but in the form of this Target brand cucumber mint sparkling water because I have a terrible migraine and it's not related to the finale of Outlander, shockingly. But this is actually really good if you do like those flavors and sparkling water. And I'm having some grapes, which I wish were some wine. But anyway, I'm so thrilled this is done and we're about to enter Droughtlander for who knows how long. Go for it, Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca. Tonight, you may wonder why I have the world's worst haircut, but it's not. I'm here as cosplaying as our favorite character, and I'll let you guess who it is. But here's a hint: I have bangs and they're red. So yeah, I'm cosplaying as him. I bought these on the internet for this purpose, and tonight we're gonna give these away.
Oh my God, don't everyone leave.
They also work as a merkin, as I've tried out.
Have you tried that on that way? Because we're giving it away.
I did hold them up to my boyfriend and he was like, never, like, don't even. So anyway, these aren't real, thank God. I just wanted to look like this tonight for you all. So I'm also drinking something sparkly, but I'm on the Whole30, so it is water as well, and it's very boring. I made some date balls downstairs, which are about as good as they sound.
Date balls.
So
sound great.
Actually, they're really sweet and delicious, and they're made from dates and oats. Anyway, I really hate looking at myself with this hair. This is horrible. We'll see how long it lasts.
You're gonna have to take it off. I can't handle it.
I look like me in 2008.
Oh my God!
It does look a little bit like your Twilight.
Yeah, my Twilight haircut.
Yeah.
If you want those merkin bangs, please tweet us using hashtag Hangoutlander. Becca, what is the grand prize?
The real prize. So we have a box where we throw all the crap we get when we go to events and stuff. So there are definitely leftover Outlander things in there. I can't tell you what it is. We've got like old stuff, new stuff. We have other fandom stuff. So tonight's grand prize is just like cleaning out our fandom box. I can throw the bangs in if you'd like them. I do not have to do that, but they're pretty fun. I mean, let's be honest. You can go like this. You can separate them.
You're making me cry.
Oh man, they're beautiful. They really are beautiful.
Thank you. But yeah, that's our grand prize. So just hang out with us tonight on YouTube or on Twitter, and we'll pick somebody who makes us laugh.
Speaking of the YouTube group, I said hello to you guys earlier, and then I was just reading through before we started while I was waiting for Becca to get her bangs on. And you guys are so nice in there. If you are new and you're just talking to us on the YouTube chat, like some of you people, like I don't know you on Twitter, and I don't know that I know you on like the site. Please like spend some time on the site, like commenting and stuff, because that tends to be where I learn who people are. Like I think about like Amy who writes for us, and Julie and Heidi and Roxanne and a bunch of other people that you guys may or may not know. We met them through the comments on That's Normal and got to know them really well that way, and then followed them on Twitter and that kind of thing. So we want to get to know y'all a little bit better, and just doing this on YouTube with the chat is like not enough. I need to know you on Twitter. I need to know you on the comments in the site or in our Facebook group. It's called That's Normal. We're obsessed too. Find us there and talk to us there, because I feel like I don't know you guys well enough and y'all like us. So I want to know you better. Okay.
And that's how we met.
Yes. Well, how y'all met me.
Yeah. Yep. Those in the YouTube channel, you could also win too. Like, I just want to throw that out. You could also win the bangs.
Yes. Yep. These two can be yours.
And whatever other things we have. I have leftover things from other stuff too. I found when I KonMari'd my closet, I found my pocket Jamie and my Outlander do-rag.
Oh yeah, good.
My dog is barking. But as we get started talking about the finale, we've been on there for too long now. I haven't said anything yet. I wanted to start out, since my recap, which is normally the top 10 moments of the episode, was fairly not happy. I wasn't really happy with the episode, so it seemed very negative. All my top 10 moments had issues, except for wee Ian and Jamie being awesome. So I wanted to start out, instead of it being Hangoutlander, we can call it, the sycophantic positivity Outlander hour or something like that, and just talk about the things that we liked and loved about the finale. Just positivity coming out the wazoo. And if you don't want to hear anything negative, then you can stop listening and when we're done. But I wanted to say for sure, I know what it's like to really love an episode or love something and then go and read a review or read a recap or read someone else's opinion of it on Twitter and it make you feel like, oh, did I really like that? Oh, they're making me feel bad about my opinion. I'm not sure that I feel that way about it anymore. My brother did that with one of the Star Wars movies. And I was like, oh, you're right. It did suck. And then I felt really bad. And I didn't want to watch it anymore. So I know what that's like. And I'm sorry if that's been your experience with us. We're just doing everything we can to be as honest as possible. We want the show to be really good. I want the show to be great. And when it's not, I'm disappointed, but I still feel like it deserves critique and it deserves the time to really look into the problems with it and talk about why we wish it had been better, how it could work better. So that's what
I think there's a difference between what we do and like hate watching, because I think people watch shows to like point out the flaws specifically, and I don't think that's what we do at all. We just find a lot of flaws with it because we are such big fans of the books and we want this show to reflect what we think it should. And we're picky. I mean, we consume a lot of entertainment, so I think we have opinions that maybe somebody else may not, because they don't have as high expectations, for better or for worse. That might be a better thing that makes it easier to enjoy something when you don't have those expectations. So
yeah, normally if I start watching a show, I'm not super invested in it already. And if it doesn't meet my expectations, I quit watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it doesn't bother me one bit to just stop. And so we get a lot of that, like, quit watching. I can't quit watching. I need it to be really, really good because I'm so attached to the source material. So I'm not going to quit watching unless they really screw up season 5. But I do want it to be good. I'm not watching it just to hate on it. I don't think I'm like, whatever. So if you don't like us, you think we're too negative, I'm sorry. I'm just being very honest about our experience with the show. So let's talk about the things that we did like. Does anybody want to go first? Something that they really appreciated in this episode?
Someone else go first, because I'm tweeting Sam that he can win the Merkin.
Yay!
So he's got a really good shot at me. I can model if you would like. I will say that I really liked the Myrta Jocasta. I know that there were problems with it too, because I would agree that it didn't feel it was like out of nowhere, sort of like they didn't build that up very well. But when it happened, I liked it. And I even liked when like Jamie realized it was happening towards the end and he kind of gave him the side eye, like, wait a second. Okay, we'll deal with that later. Like, what's going on over here? I thought that was a nice light moment to, a very heavy episode.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think that it was a cute little reveal. I don't think that they had a whole lot of like sexual chemistry going on at the beginning, but maybe they weren't supposed to. I would have liked to been a little bit more fun, I guess, or foreplay-ish.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with that scene at all. The only real issue I had with it was it was in smack dab in the middle of the finale that was missing a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And as we were reminded by some of our readers and writers, in the book, there is I guess kind of, it's inferred that Jocasta has a relationship with Ulysses, which is problematic, obviously, because he is enslaved to her. And so it was really exciting to see that maybe they're not going that direction and they're not doing that at all. So that's good. And also, we also called way back when that Myrta was going to be a stand-in for Duncan Ennis, who in book 5 is one of Jamie's men that comes from the jail and ends up having a relationship with Jocasta. And we called that forever ago. A bunch of other people called that. It was weird that the showrunners thought it was going to be this big surprise, or that it was like something like really new that nobody had thought of, and was like, we called that in season 2. Like, we were telling you, keep Murta around and let him just be dunking at us. So thank you for watching Hangoutlander, guys. You need to keep it up.
Now take the rest of our suggestions,
Right.
please. Yeah. I really actually liked the reunion of Bree and Roger for the 2.3 seconds that it happened. And I felt a little emotional, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. The reunion that should have happened later after all these other things. But whatever, that little tiny capsule of a moment I really appreciated, and then it was ruined. But I liked it.
Okay, it's positivity hour, so we can talk about that. My opinion on that one later.
Hour.
You're not allowed to tell her she dropped. I just inhaled my fake hair.
I wonder if Sam has that problem when he's filming. He's like, oh God, choking on my bangs.
I can't do it. All right, well,
we have a lot of people that like the Murta and Jocasta stuff. Thought it was really cute. So
yeah,
I liked it too. I thought it was a weird edit, like her throwing the drink in his face, and then like boom, they're in bed. Really maybe tried. A little, yeah.
They tried to. That was supposed to be like sexual tension, and like
it just didn't work for some reason.
I still like that they did it, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I saw somebody on Twitter, some fan, and they just said like, whatever happened to Murta being in love with Ellen? Is he just going to forget the 20 years? And I'm like, it's been like 50 years, at least 4 since Ellen has been around. He wasn't married to her. I think he can be getting booty from her sister in their 60s. I don't think it's a problem anymore. He doesn't like need to be faithful to Ellen's memory.
Right.
Oh man, that was a serious. If you want to talk about critiques that are too negative, that one is a real stretch. Anyway, I think Duncan LaCroix's hot. Oh, somebody just said that. Vicky Fraser just said that Duncan LaCroix looked good. I think he looked good.
Yeah,
he did. I mean, I think he's Maria the winner of the best wig of the entire series.
Definitely. He had like that Jeff Goldblum spray tan going on when he was laying in the bed. He looked very Jurassic Park.
Hold on to your butts.
So my favorite thing about this episode was John Bell, who plays young Ian. I thought that of all the characters, he showed the most of a good character arc for this. Coming to the new world, being excited about natives and finding out new things. And I really wish they had explored that more. There were too many episodes that he wasn't in. We didn't really see him interacting with the Cherokee.
Mm-hmm. Right. He
or with the
language.
Right. Yeah. Like how did he learn
this language?
Yeah. But regardless of the fact that the writers didn't spend enough time showing that growth to young Ian as a character and as an actor, I thought John Bell did a fantastic job, especially in this episode. You can see it on his face the whole time, not just when he's talking, that he's struggling with what he's supposed to do and what the right thing is. And it worked really, really well. It was the most emotional part of the episode for me. I cried when he and Jamie, even when Claire goes up to him and holds his face. And I thought he did a fantastic job. And I was so happy for him when he got welcomed into the tribe and had his little war whoop and everything. I thought it was a little too soon. I mean, like he just left his family for forever. He doesn't know when he's ever going to see them again. But I was happy for him, and I thought he did a fantastic job in this episode.
Yeah. I feel like John Bell has done the most with the storyline he's been given for the season. Yeah. From someone we really didn't know much of, and then he, from start to finish, has been one I've enjoyed watching every week.
Yeah.
He's like goofy and like innocent in that, you think back to like that just innocent face he has, but yet he has so much depth and character. I mean, he just really grew.
Yeah. Somebody in YouTube said that her husband was really confused about how he learned the language. I mean, you would think that there's some things that I think you can get just by watching the show, even if you've never read the books. And there's some things that are just like, it doesn't make any sense for Ian to know the language, but not Jamie.
Right.
And so
I don't know the answer to that question.
He spent a lot of time like trapping with them and stuff. Like John Quincy Myers takes him off into the woods with the Tuscadora. I'm sorry, I can't say that right. And he spends a lot of time with them and just ends up learning. I don't know how he learned Mohawk specifically, but I felt like there was like a common native language or something that they They did. And I remember thinking when he was first cast, when we first saw him, that he wasn't going to hit the young Ian in my mind. And he totally changed my mind. And I just really appreciated him in this episode. I thought he was great.
Yeah, it's funny the stuff the production chooses to like over explain, and then the stuff that like you'll just understand that he knew this difficult language to learn, and all was right.
I mean, there's the thing is that they do tell the story, like, again, in the costumes, like he's got all these little trinkets on his clothing that is mirrored in what they have. And he's, you know, he's been doing that. You've seen his costume steadily get more and more, you know, kind of an homage to the natives. And so that is one way that they're trying to tell that story. But it's great if you're a book reader. It's like when you see Black Brian in the courtyard at Fort William, when Jamie is being scourged in like episode 6 of the very first thing, and you're like, oh my God, there's his dad. And he's staying, you know, his dad is there. And it's like this really impressive moment if you're a book reader, because that's such an important thing, but it's not really necessarily super duper explained. That's kind of how I felt about like young Ian's costuming, for instance. It's just like a great little book tidbit that not regular casual like TV viewers aren't necessarily going to get. And I wish that they had explored it more.
Yeah. Creedy B on Twitter said that the goodbye scene between young Ian and Jamie was heartbreaking. And more importantly, it felt genuine and earned. Jamie was there when Ian was born, and now he's all grown up.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old is Ian?
It's supposed to be
18, like 17,
17,
18, right?
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is born in the midst of the Dunbonnet era, which is right after Culloden. And that's been 22, 23 years, but he's not that old. So he's born in the midst of that 7 years.
Mel has read the books, would like to know if your dog is sad about young Ian, and that's why he's crying. Well, now someone's angry.
They heard you talking about them. Can you hear my dog whining? Like,
yes, I thought it was a baby, and I'm like, oh,
I'm sorry, guys. No, I'm eating goldfish and peanut butter M&Ms, and she super wants them. So that's what that's about. Yeah. So she's just into carbs. That's all that's about. But yeah, somebody just said, oh gosh, I wanted to say something about it, and I forgot where it was. Oh well. Now I forgot where I was going because we started talking about my dog.
We could talk about that. Well, are we still being positive?
Yes.
Is it almost over?
I have one more thing to talk positively if we want to go there. Okay. I thought Sam was excellent in this episode, guys. I really thought that he was very, very book Jamie. I loved the scene where he gives Roger what for. I felt like it pulled right out of the book for me. I love that he gives giving him no quarter. He's done with him. I loved his "that's the last unanswered blow" line. I mean, I just was there for Jamie in this episode until the very end. But I really like it when Jamie is capable. I really like it when Jamie is a Highlander. I really like it when his berserker, like Viking blood comes out. I'm just there for all of that. And I really wanted it to be, I wanted him to be book Jamie all the way through. He wasn't at the end, and I was kind of irritated, but the rest of it I was very there for. And Sam did a fantastic job too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He was great.
Guys, you see what it's like when we're positive? Somebody says something and then we have nothing to say. This is why we don't do it this way. It's not fun. It's not fun. Purely Amused just said, yes, you could see the look on his face that said, hit me again, try it. And I'm here for it. Book Jamie is the best. He is the best. If you're doing Ask Sam right now, ask him specifically if he thought that he was the best in this episode, and then to tweet us, and he can come on if he wants. He can talk to my dog. Maybe she'll calm down.
We will gladly bring him on. Honey Lips on Twitter said that all this Rolo buildup, and then we barely saw him. That one little shot they showed, I was like, that was such a lame, like, oh yeah, don't forget the dog we posted about on social media for 9 months that we just wrote off. So true, Honey Lips.
Have him just standing there like, bye, Rolo. He's just going to stay in the Mohawk Village too, like a dire wolf.
When like they need him, they're like traveling. He's their protecting dog. He's their anyway.
Yeah, he's like actually like an important part of their ecosystem.
Right. Well, I guess they'll get a new dog.
I guess another wolf somewhere. They're going to find one. There was a lot missing in, I think, Ian with the mohawk. If we want to leave Positivity Hour behind, those of you that are super into it, I don't have anything else to say that was positive. Oh, okay. I have one more. I think that Sophie did a good job with her face in the birthing scene.
She has gotten way better over the season.
I love that Positivity Hour is just like measured words. We think it was okay.
The thing is, I don't agree with what you just said, Becca, at all.
You don't think she's gotten more better?
I think that
She's
she
gotten
regressed.
like
I think
this.
it was an up and down curve for me.
Hmm.
I think that had to do with the order that they film things in.
Oh, yeah, that's probably right.
No, the last 2 episodes were not her episodes. Not at all. The middle was good for her. But, I thought that the birthing face was good. Although for once, I would really like... What?
I actually didn't think it was. I thought it was a strange birthing face, but whatever. I haven't given birth.
I would for once like a birthing scene to reflect my reality, which was, it's so embarrassing. Somebody came over once, this pregnant couple of friends of ours, and we had at the time like a 2 and a 4-year-old. And I was like, you can watch the birthing scene. You can watch our video. I don't care. Like, I'll show it to you. And we turned it on. I had not seen it. Like, I hadn't seen it since my daughter was born. And I was so mortified. It takes a lot to embarrass me. And I was mortified because I was such a wimp. I was like crying and going, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And the nurse was like, you have to push. You have to keep pushing. I was like, I can't do it. I just for once, I would like a birthing scene to be just like a total wimp, just like being like, I don't know what to do. Somebody just help me.
Just get the forceps, pull it out.
I literally, because both of my daughters, like, I went limp, and like the nurses were like, get your ass in the game. You have got to push. And I was like, no, I was terrified. You can see the fear in my eyes. And like, I just don't do anything for a few minutes. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, that's reality. That happened to me 2 times. So somebody needs to do that instead of this like, stoic push through. They get it together. No, not everybody gets it together. Okay. So let's get the head out and then think we're done. And the nurse has to like put their elbow in our belly to get the baby the rest of the way out because we're losers. All right. That happened to me. Dose. Okay. Anyway.
That sounds thrilling.
Was it? So I think Positivity Hour can go by the wayside.
I would agree. We almost did it for a whole half hour.
That's awesome. Let's get back into Hangoutlander, you guys. Actually, it's probably more like 20 minutes because we did a little bit of an intro.
That's true. We talked about
20 minutes of Positivity Hour, guys.
Yeah, that's big.
I'm proud of us.
It's more yoga.
Take that, Barbs.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're a Richard stan and you think that we're too negative, look what we just did. Oh, we didn't say anything nice about Richard? I wonder why. Let's get into that.
I sort of did. I gave him a little something.
You did. Hangoutlander's back, you guys. Here we go.
Yeah.
I super hate Roger in every way. He has no redeeming qualities in this episode.
He really doesn't.
100% not a man of worth. And I don't care about him at all. I wanted him to leave and go back to the future and leave Bree to marry Lord John or somebody else.
I feel like literally Richard Rankin must be the opposite of whatever the hell Tobias Menzies did to the writers, because Tobias became like God, like they'll bring him back for anything. They'll write a flashback just to have him come in. Richard can't even get an episode where he is a nice person.
No.
Like he can't even get a good line. Like what? He didn't bring in the right donuts or whatever on the first day.
And did you notice, like, I read someone saying, like, none of the actors were really thanking him? Or no, it was none of the background actors have, like, pictures with him.
Huh.
I don't think Richard is a bad guy. I think he's funny. I think he's great with PR. I think that he's a good actor. I saw him in the Last Kingdom, and I was like, oh, Richard Rankin. Like, and he did a good job. He's like this creepy monk. He was great. But I think that they've done Roger this huge disservice. He's a terrible character in this season. Like he's zero redeeming qualities, and it just grating. I mean, not that Frank has a ton of redeeming qualities, but he does,
But
kind of.
But they make him so much more likable. That's I think what people have a hard
Yeah.
time with, right? He's not supposed to be likable, but yet we like him.
Yes.
Exactly. And
Why
they didn't
is
even
that?
make a character you're supposed to likable. That's
Right. A guy that's going to
wild.
be around for the next
Yeah,
8
like a
seasons.
main character. Well, he'll have to earn that. Why? A lot of questions, not a lot of answers.
I was really disappointed with the way he finds out about Brianna and what he says. And I mean, I was Jamie in that episode, or in that scene.
Yeah.
I mean, he only cared about himself. He's only beating up Jamie in service to his own pain.
Right.
Which, a bunch of people are like, isn't this great scene or what? No, it's not. He is absolutely beating on our protagonist because the protagonist beat him up and he's upset about it.
Right.
But Jamie beat him up for Brianna, who's Roger's wife.
Right.
Like, he didn't even spend the time to figure out what was going on. And it's very short-sighted. It doesn't make me want to root for him. And then when he does find out that Brianna is raped, he doesn't sit at all with the idea that the love of his life has been raped. His first reaction is, how could you think it was me?
Right.
And
or
then
even
who
his
did
part
it?
in it, right? That
Yeah.
if things had ended differently, that wouldn't have happened. Well, I guess he didn't know it happened right then and there.
He didn't, but his first questions are not about her.
Right.
And now, granted, Claire has said she's safe, she's with people, but he doesn't ask how she is. He doesn't ask, anything about her well-being. His questions are, how could you think it was me, and who did it?
Yeah.
And then when they say it's Stephen Bonnet, his question is like, poor me. He's the guy who forced me onto a ship, and then all of this stuff. None of it is, I can't believe this happened to her. I can't believe she came back to the past, and this is the story. Like, nothing. And it's just poor writing. He deserves better, especially because Richard was doing like a good job in that scene, and still, he's having to deal with this terrible character.
Yeah.
Well, the writers are giving him like all the exposition. They're like, you need to like ask all of these things, and so that it makes sense why they're there, and that we need to know that Stephen Bonnet did it. And you have to like connect all the dots. You don't actually get to be a human. You just have to help tell this story real quick.
Yeah.
Because we've run out of time.
Yeah, that's the thing too. They're anticipating that people are going to pick things up from the book or be okay with things that happened in the book and just kind of connect dots, instead of really telling the story in a really captivating way that makes you care about him. I don't care about Roger. If I was just a show watcher, I really, really wouldn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So let's discuss let's discuss the Mohawk Village a little bit. One of my positivity moments is that I think that they did a really good job with this set, and it seems like all of the actors also agree that this set was really nice. And I mentioned in my recap that I didn't like how they were portraying the Mohawks. It feels like they're very antagonistic the whole time. And in reality, I think they would have been open to trading. They would have been open to making friends. They would have been open to like having a relationship with these people. And there was time in the book specifically for Ian to get to know them, for them to like spend more time with them and all of that kind of stuff. And even Ottertooth's story was something that they could have incorporated into Jamie and Claire and Ian spending time in the village and in a positive way.
Right.
And instead they made them look very overly superstitious, overly cautious, overly like antagonistic towards white people or towards any new people. And that did them a disservice, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the historical accuracy of Mohawks was, but as far as I know, from what I've read and from what I learned, like they wouldn't have been imminently hostile like that right away. And the way they shot it and the way it's scored and Jamie and Claire's faces, everything just makes it look like they're not the ones that are coming on somebody else's land and trying to free a captive. It's not fair for representation reasons.
And somebody said, and it's been a while now, so we probably can't find it, but in the YouTube comments that like the Otterstone or whatever they're calling it just came out of nowhere. Like she's had this huge thing this whole time. We haven't seen it. And then suddenly, whoop, there it is.
Oh yeah, remember I found this in episode 2 or 1 even.
I wonder why they don't bring things back from episode to episode.
Because they're not good at it.
Well, how hard would it have been for, she finds this thing and then she sees the ghost and then she finds the boots later on and there's all of this stuff, but like, there's never.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that takes like cohesion. I feel like they probably break the season and then people get assigned an episode to write, and I don't know. Maybe it's just how the writer's room works. I don't know. They need to like do this together a little bit more of like, you need to weave this into your story. You have to highlight the boots or whatever in this episode. And there's just no cohesion, it seems like. Yeah.
And even the idea that stones are something that they need to go through the stones is just like slightly peppered through. But it's like it's also like a huge deal. And it just doesn't ever seem, that's something you have to remember from, season 3 or if you're a book reader or whatever. So
also Roger was almost killed a gazillion times and he had gemstones on him. He just happened to keep them. What were they, in his butt?
They look like they were in his butt.
He pulls like that little piece of paper out. I'm like, what? They didn't like make him walk naked? Like, come on. It just seems odd.
They were tiny too. They were like pinky fingernail sized.
Right.
If that.
Yeah.
He kept them.
Yeah, but it feels like they just use the Mohawk for like, going back to that, use them to just bring about drama instead of any sort of like, hey, Ian's about to be like with them. Like, how can we better tell this story? But anyway.
Yeah. Brittany just made a really great point. I like Brittany. Brittany lives in Memphis. And anyway, she says, can we talk about the title card? If Ottertooth used the opal to come through the stones, it would have burned up and he wouldn't have it anymore.
That's true.
Like they show him in the beginning, like with the big opal. He still has the opal.
Plot hole.
Wow.
It's not the only one.
No, it's not. Unless he found another one. I don't know.
Or had another gemstone on him when he went through.
Right.
But they make a point to show it, and then he wouldn't have had it.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
Good point, Brittany from Memphis.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, that's silly and ridiculous. My least favorite part of the Mohawk Village in this particular episode is the fight. It felt so badly choreographed, like
some telenovela style.
Yeah.
You never really saw anybody get hit.
No.
It was the aftermath of everyone being hit or like an arm moving across the screen and then like somebody would be on the ground.
Dead? Like, did they kill people?
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
I kept wondering, is somebody dying?
Yeah. It seemed like it, but then also like, really? They would have let them go had that happened? I don't think so.
Well, I didn't understand why Roger was still limping. I did not believe that Claire would be able to like maneuver him through this big fight. And it just looked ridiculous to me. The whole thing looked ridiculous. Yeah. It didn't look realistic at all. There were so many Mohawk and just Jamie and a few people fighting them off. And Claire dodging people. It was really silly. And I hated it. Real bad.
It was pretty ridiculous.
But and Claire being the one that was like, peace, and it just stopped.
White savior. Remember she did that when they the German guy and the natives by the river. Same thing. Did literally the same thing.
Same hand motion and everything.
Yeah. And I think she yelled peace. Sheila on Twitter, TV Sheila says, and she found the Ottertooth skull in the woods near Fraser's Ridge in North Carolina.
Yes,
it was buried in New York.
They have the woman say that her father, who was a warrior, whoever was the warrior, went and buried it very far away, so he couldn't keep speaking. So they try to fix that plot hole by saying he buried it.
Yeah, I don't think he walked 4 months away to bury it.
He went all the way to North Carolina from New York State in order to get the otter tooth to shut up. It was pretty funny.
There was something. Oh, Lily Mack on YouTube said the fight was stupid. Members of the same village would never go against the chief. Never.
Apparently, he says something about the men who are with her are ones that he's already banished. They're not people from that group. Or they've been banished.
With the banished men?
They wanted to be with Ottertooth. Like they agreed that he had knowledge.
Sure.
So I was a little upset because I felt like Claire is manipulating the situation again in ways that she didn't need to. Like it's like they didn't think through what she needed to say to this person to get what she wanted. She wanted Roger, and those people believed that if you have the stone, you have knowledge about their future. And she never uses the fact she actually does have knowledge about their future to her advantage. Never says, I can tell you things about your future. I can be honest with you about what it is. You've got to help me get this guy and you take me back and let them, let me tell them that I do know things about their future. And she doesn't do any of that. I don't know. If they'd given this episode more time, if they'd given this story arc more time, they could have done something more interesting than her just being like, I'll give this back to you and then you can know your future, knowing that having that stone is not going to do anything for them. She knew that giving it back to them was not going to like help them out.
Right.
But she was willing to be like manipulative about it for that reason. I just felt it. I thought it was shitty of her.
Yes.
What are people yelling about keeping the bench?
Oh, so from the Jamie and Claire, or not Jamie and Claire, Jamie and Brianna reunion.
Okay, got it. Yes.
Remember how in the post episode, Meryl and Matt are like, I love the bench is the most important part from the book.
Yeah. So here Andy says, oh my God, purely them keeping the bench and not even caring about the part. She's talking to Purely. Not even caring about the part with the Jamie not being at the birth is freaking hideous. So that's what they thought was priority. A bench versus him not being there for his daughter's birth.
Right.
His grandson.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like they don't get, the bench is not even important. It's not in Wilmington. No. The bench is in Fraser's Ridge.
Yeah.
So what is the point? Purely Muse just said something I thought was super important. And I was thinking about the entire time, if they had just changed the distance between the Mohawk Village and Fraser's Ridge, they would have had more time to fit in so many more important plot points.
Yeah,
totally.
They could have gotten them out of there so much faster and gotten
back to,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
I think they were like trying so hard to build the finale with Brianna and Roger's reunion and with Ian's sacrifice and the birth. I mean, did they not realize that they have like way too many climaxes in that one episode? Like Ian's sacrifice is hugely climactic. Could have been the end of another episode.
Right. It should have been the penultimate episode.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. Not the bogus priest on the fire, which someone mentioned on Twitter. Now I can't find it. If they had condensed it or gotten rid of the priest storyline altogether, or told that to Jamie and Claire, it would have like sped everything along.
I miss voiceovers.
Yeah.
And we just have Claire say, and then we heard a story about a priest on a fire.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that they were trying so hard. I mean, the birth itself the birth is a climax, obviously, literally, and, the way that the story runs. But could easily be like the mid-episode climax to Jamie and Claire coming back and Bree actually really being depressed. And then the big finale climax being Roger coming and meeting them at Fraser's Ridge and then having a nice denouement of them being happy and, or even not even necessarily happy, but just together at the Ridge with, I don't know, Fergus and Marsley and Myrta. Yes.
Well, a good point that Candace just brought up. They weren't even trying to do Bree and Roger's reunion because as we now know, that was not necessarily in the original plans. They weren't even going to have them reunited in the end of the story. So like, what the hell were they headed towards?
Someone mentioned that? Was that mentioned in the after the episode? Because I watched this midweek and was so horrified that I never watched it again. Yep. So what happened? Can someone tell me?
I think Tony says that at the end, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that her name? Yeah, one of them, Meryl. It's Meryl, Matt, and someone else. And that's what they say. They said that they talked about a couple different ideas, but they thought it was important that they would be reunited. But originally, I do not believe that was the plan. I can't remember. Somebody tell me. Lots of comments coming in.
Yeah,
they were going to make.
They had another script.
Yeah, they were going to make Roger the cliffhanger after all his wandering in the woods.
Jana said, I don't get the writer's logic of let's make Roger a complete bag of dicks, but make the Roger and Brianna reunion the pinnacle of the episode. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It was very like just cobbled together in ways that didn't make sense and nobody.
And I also thought like as she's running towards him, I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted it. I think I did. I was like, she's going to hit him, right? She's going to hit him and then cry and be so glad he's back. But her first reaction is, why the hell didn't you come back with my parents? Right? Because that's a horrible thing that she just went through, realizing that he left her. She wasn't enough it was too much for him.
And like, how in the world does he not consider the fact that they've been separated for a year?
Yeah.
A year, 11 months.
Yep.
And he's going to really consider whether or not he just wants to like, not do it.
Yep.
He's chill with that.
And there's a chance that baby's his, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, there's a chance that's yours. There's a chance
good
it's not. But yeah, there's a great chance that it's yours.
And I remember I read, I guess it was a Meryl interview today. I read an interview where she's talking about how his motivation is not this selfish thing. Like, I don't know if I can deal with it or whatever. He's just got so much. It was so much at once that he needed time to like chill out with it and be cool. Sorry, to be cool with it. I've had so much champagne. So like he just needed to be cool with it for a certain amount of time before he just like, how are we supposed to infer that?
He's also been sitting there for months wondering why he got beat up by the love of his life's dad. Like every terrible situation has run through his mind except for this one. So this should be a relief to him. Like, oh my God, they thought I was the wrong guy. Like, oh, okay, I'm not, she doesn't hate me. I'm not an asshole. Let's go home. I want to see this woman.
She wants me. Like, let's get there. Let's get this together. Like, that's exactly what I've been worried about this whole time. Let's go. Yeah. And the fact that they're even alive, the fact that he's alive and she's alive and he can be with her and that has to be this huge relief. Yeah. Like, I just got rescued.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. I mean, just the fact
that hell out of here.
Yes. I mean, he just is not, there's what they want us to infer about him being a good guy is in no way what they have put on the screen that overshadows all the things he's done that makes him a cad. And I didn't like the reunion for lots of reasons, but mainly because I just didn't think it was earned. But also,
not at all.
I think that there are probably 10 different films or television shows or whatever that I have seen people reference where the heroine runs into the man's arms in that way after he gets off a horse and like falls into his arms.
Story.
Yeah.
I mean, just today I've seen people like, it was just like this, and it was just like this, and it was just like that. It was just like everything. Yeah. It was like
your finale. Wow.
So trite. Right. It was TV trope number 1. Embarrassingly tropey.
It would have been better had she hit him and then cried and then kissed him.
Like, yeah. The thing I liked about it or felt emotional, maybe just from being a book reader, but I think their faces were really good. There was actual emotion there. And like that quick moment of, oh my God, we're both still alive. That's the part I liked about it. I don't like how it was done. I don't like where it was in the story. None of that. But I did like what they did as actors with it.
Positivity moment. His hair looked good.
Sure, his wig was fine.
Shitty. He got the merkin. I hate that wig. He looks awful.
I remember when she put her hand behind his head or something, I was like, oh, that looks nice. Like that was just the actual thought that went through my head about the back of his head.
It made me worry she was gonna like push it off. Like the wig was gonna fall off.
I thought that what she did in that scene was terrible. Now the running to him was fine. The look on her face when she was running. But she hugs him and then pulls back and then blank face goes, "You're here." Nothing. No tears. No emotion. No, she's not mad. She's not happy. She's not sad. She's not relieved. Nothing. You're here. That's it.
She should have got some of the eye drops from Jamie and Ian because they were going down the middle of their eyes and not the center. And that's how you can tell if they're fake or not.
Oh, LA tip.
No.
Roseanne just reminded us that it was just like Claire and Jamie's reunion on the beach. Last finale.
Oh my God. That's true.
Oh, how did we forget? I don't know.
I don't know.
I remember not liking that reunion either for the same reason. It was so trite. Like it's such, and like if Jamie was in a boat, I remember saying this specifically. If Jamie was in a boat, he would have pulled up on the beach where she was. There was no reason for them to run to each other. She could have either run to where the boat was pulled up or he could have boated to where she was. But instead he boated to somewhere else and she just waited and then they ran.
It's a lot of high drama you have to write into these shows.
Really tropey and stupid. And I hated it.
It's true. I found the best tweet. Her name's Pickles and Picks. Something. I'm sure I'm not reading that right, but
I'm drinking so much. Go ahead.
She said something really funny because keep going back. Like they had to, walk all the way from New York to whatever. She says, Google Maps says New York to North Carolina on foot is 10 days. I love it. I was dying.
So the brush was thicker back then. So let's just, I don't know, triple it. It's 30 days. Let's even double that. 2 months, not 4 months, not 8 months gone. Like, oh my God.
I love that.
Is that hilarious or what?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've had so much shit, Prosecco. But anyway, that's a great little tidbit. But regardless, drama for drama's sake. Did you ever notice that there are things that happen in this show that are like, they could be lines or scenes from like movies or TV shows with talking animals? Like
what?
Like Homeward Bound, or that's too good actually, but like Wishbone or something like that. Like Wishbone goes back in time. Remember the little dog show from PBS?
Vaguely.
Yes, Wishbone. Yeah,
and he like dresses up like Robin Hood or, John Adams or something. And he has like a little adventure and he says things like, you're going to be sorry you said that. And then he like, does whatever. And he's a dog. And that's what it's like. Like there are times when they say things and do things and they have lines. Like I was complaining last week about the line, like, I'm going to raise my baby to be a good person. There's just lines and scenes and tropes that they use that are so banal that they could be out of the mouth of a talking dog. That's how tropey they are. They could be Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
So I've lost who was saying it, but people are saying, where did the good directors and writers go? And then somebody said, with Ron. And so is this like a real thing? Like I'm actually asking. I think that was like a joke. Maybe it wasn't joke or a dig. Maybe it was true. Did they? I mean, I assume Ron didn't leave on bad terms. It's pretty typical that somebody doesn't necessarily stay the whole time that started the show.
I think it's very typical for like somebody that's that big. Apparently, he's a big name. I didn't know that before Outlander started because I didn't watch Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek. But for a big name showrunner to leave after leave the show kind of in capable hands and still be the exec producer, right? But I mean, it's been pretty obvious, especially this season, but also in season 3, that he was very hands off. He didn't write anything this season. He normally writes the finale and sometimes the opening episode.
Right.
He didn't write anything. He's not hands on. Terry is quitting has quit, is no longer a part of the show. I think that he's staying on as nominal exec producer, and Matt has taken over show running. Meryl has taken over what I'm assuming is like operations.
And is somebody script supervising?
Line producing.
Line producing. And Tony Graffia is the writer room, is the script producer. And
Girl.
She's just not there. She can't do it.
She hasn't read the books.
She sucks. She wrote this episode. So without Ron, like, yeah, they're not doing well. This book should have been a slam dunk, easy to adapt, and it wasn't. And they do need Ron to be there, but I mean, I think he's just doing other things, or he's just like kind of done with it, and it's just nominally like barely overseeing
anyone who has any sort of experience keeping a story or adapting a story for TV to a book to TV. Does Robert does Matt or did they have these? I need to go back and look at their IMDb, but
well, someone who says Mel has just read books. Tony was saying Jamie wasn't a man of worth.
Yikes.
I mean, I don't think that Tony gets it at all. And I think what happened with Meryl, because when the season started, she was Ron's production partner. And I think what's happened is apparently she started dating Matt. And I think Matt is
allegedly.
I think Matt's probably a good producer. I think Roxanne said this on our site. Good with like visuals. And if you look at Outlander, it looks right. You know what I mean? Like, it looks good.
Oh, I had something positive to say before we go on to the negative things again. I meant to say this. I wrote this down. I actually think they did a great job making Scotland look like New York, like the trees and stuff felt very like the woods in Pennsylvania. And I was like, wow, I don't know where they found that. I don't know if they built a set because I didn't think they had that in Scotland, but I thought they did a good job. It did not feel like they were in Scotland.
Yeah.
So they nailed the look, but
right.
Side note.
And visually, the show's always been good. I mean, sometimes it's a little overwrought and it's a little bit too ornate for what they should be having, but it still looks great. But somebody just said that Tony doesn't read the books and she doesn't know anything about what's going on. Mel has read books.
How do you adapt a show and not have read the books?
I know.
And like done extensive research into what people are saying about
and knowing what's coming, because that's important, I think, especially for this series.
And I mean, just the simple fact that it's not about making plot points stick together and have. That's important, and making a good show just for the good show's sake is important. But holy shit, these books are 100% about Jamie and Claire Fraser, specifically Jamie. We've said it a million times. And if you don't love him, like if you could say Jamie's not a man of worth with a straight face, you should not be.
You're fired.
You shouldn't even be doing the lights on this show. You definitely shouldn't be doing the wigs and the makeup. But but for sure, you shouldn't be writing it and producing it if you don't think that Jamie is
your
the
main character.
He's the pinnacle man. That's ridiculous.
I saw something that Diana had posted the birth scene or something on Twitter because she's an epic asshole, which is pretty great. But I mean, what is her opinion? Does she voice one? Or that is her opinion right then and there? They fucked that up.
I think so. I mean, there are times when I love Diana so much, and this is one of them. And then someone else reminded me on Twitter today that at New York Comic Con, I don't remember, Becca, maybe you remember this, but Diana got up and said, they made season 4. Now they have to stand behind it.
Oh,
I forgot about that
the tea is hot.
I don't think
that. No.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody really recognized what she meant. At that point, I don't even think she probably knew fully what she meant because I don't think the whole season had been done yet at that point. But
she probably saw the scripts though.
Yes, probably had definitely seen the scripts, and I think that they're not listening to her as much as they used to. I think that's very evident. But I love when she throws shade at what's going on. And she tries so hard to balance between like doing really well by the actors and saying the right thing for them and the crew and all of that kind of stuff. But then obviously being irritated when they don't do things right.
Right. And this harkens back, remember last week on Hangoutlander, if you were on, it was either Andy or Courtney threw out a little conspiracy that maybe Matt deleted his Twitter because he knew what was coming. Like this week, he was gonna get his ass tanned by the fans. Like,
I saw Meryl responding to a few people about season 5. Somebody said, actually, it's Deb Loves PA 1 or something like that. But she said something about how there was a Hollywood Reporter interview where Meryl said that season 5 was going to really focus on Bree and Roger. And Meryl actually said, I didn't say that. If I said that, I was drunk or I was, totally not paying attention to what I was saying. because that's not the case. And she repeated that it wasn't an actual quote. Maybe they were just talking about how there is going to be a lot of Bree and Roger, and the report reported it that way. So they're aware of what people are saying to them in this process, but nobody has responded to the big complaint of this finale, which is the fact that Jamie and Claire weren't there for the birth, which we haven't talked about because it's so obvious. Why would we bother talking about it? It was a huge omission. And just it doesn't matter that it's just the book and it's an adaptation, and we understand about adaptation, but you're talking about the last time Bree and Jamie have seen one another, she's slapping him and calling him a savage and all kinds of other things. And there's no reconciliation between the two of them in this show. And if you're just watching it, especially if you're binge watching it, can you imagine what the letdown of that process has been? Like, he went through this whole thing with Claire about how upset he was. Remember the tent scene where they're talking about, she's trying to reassure him that Bree didn't mean it, and that she's, that he is a father to her, and all of the things that she's supposed to be reminding him of. Can you imagine the emotional letdown when you don't see any of that? And she has like this one little line with Myrta, and then they exchange nothing.
Yeah, saying she forgave him to Myrta is not the moment, is not how they forgive each other, is not doing justice to that entire couple episode storyline of him risking him and her mother's life and her cousins to save this guy for her because he clearly loves her.
Yeah.
Whatever. Update from Prickles and Picks. If you take a bike from North Carolina to New York, or in this case, a horse, it's a 72-hour journey.
Again, so a lot of little time for just having to hack down some trees.
I mean, have they been living in Scotland too long? And so in their mind, they think that America's like vastly bigger than it is. Like, yes, it's big, especially in comparison to the UK, but it's not that big.
Also, wouldn't it have been fast? I guess were they running after them? Were they tracking them for a while?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it have been faster to just take a boat up to, Baltimore or Philadelphia, whatever's around, and then get up to New York on horseback?
Yes.
Just get some bikes.
Yeah. Maybe you could just do a little boat calculation for us. So crazy.
Also, when you're tracking people, like, I keep thinking of like Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas when they're tracking the orcs through, anyway, Middle Earth. I'm thinking like they have like this supernatural like drive to do it, and they do it really fast, like they catch up to them, right? Like Jamie and Claire and Ian should have been able to catch up to the Mohawk, who were just like meandering through and trading as they went.
Right.
And they weren't doing that. They were literally tracking them, and they were only a week behind. So they should have caught up to them way sooner than they did.
They were way behind by the time. It seemed like Roger was there for like a month.
Sorry. Yes, I've had so much to drink.
Yeah,
It's like I had like 6 cups, whatever it's called.
6 cups of champagne.
I love this finale. I'm so happy it's over. But yeah, they should have caught up to them way sooner. You guys, why did the writers not think of just the general? Are they just trying so hard to have this finale shoehorn in all of this stuff that they just don't think? I don't understand.
I'm just reading the comments. 6 bottles. Vicky Fraser says you had 6 bottles. Kegs. You had 6 kegs.
Close to. Someone just said, here's one thing I did want to talk about. Claire, as a mom and a nurse doctor, Heather Harris is saying this, did not even ask to hold the baby right away. Okay. It makes no sense for them to have Claire do all of these surgeries on different people throughout the season and then not be there for her daughter's birth in the 18th century. She is a surgeon, a modern surgeon. She would have been hauling ass back to River Run to make sure she was there for that birth. Right. I don't care.
Yeah. Modern women don't live better than non-modern women in birth. We all have the same chance of dying.
Exactly. She would not have been okay leaving it to chance, especially because Claire herself had issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had issues giving birth both times. And so the idea that she would not be far more concerned with Brianna's birth than she shows in the show is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially because they want to give so much like credence to her medical skills. Like every time somebody like gets hit over the head, she's pulling her medicine box out. I mean, it's people she hates. And she's like, remember when the guy like tries to attack her in the brothel in like 307? Remember, we're all like, I cannot believe this guy, like they put a rape in the show that they didn't even have to have. And this guy hits his head on the hearth, and she's drilling into his skull to save him.
Right.
This and she did hernia surgery, unnecessary hernia surgery.
Yes. She's doing a hernia surgery just so Jamie can get Myrta to safety. Okay. She does not give a shit when stuff happens. She wants to do her medical shit, and she doesn't care to be there for her daughter's first birth. It's some bullshit. I have never in my life seen something so poorly written ever. That character would have been hauling ass back to River Run. She would have been like, where is a freaking stone circle so I can time travel to River Run and be there for this to happen? I cannot believe that she was not there. And then when she gets there, doesn't ask a fucking medical question at all. She's not like, let me see your twat. She doesn't like say, let me see the baby. Let me make sure the baby, like nothing.
Right.
Like this baby's not vaccinated against polio or measles or nothing. And she's just like, I don't even need to touch him. Are you out of your mind?
Here, baby.
Like if I were her, I would have been picking up every single herb on my way back to North Carolina, the 72 hours it would have taken me to get there, to make sure that baby is well vaccinated or at least well protected against whatever he is definitely going to catch. Bananas.
It's a crazy omission that I don't even know how you justify, which they haven't. They're staying a million feet away from that question.
And not only did they not make it for the birth, we don't even get to see Jamie hold the baby.
That was the lamest shit. She literally says, Claire literally asked Jocasta, could you hold the baby? What the hell?
How about, do you want to hold your grandson? Like,
yeah, give us a moment. Give us something.
It is unbelievable that Jamie would be bro-ish about his grandson. Like, oh, he's bro lad. Fuck no. Jamie Fraser is a sensitive, emotionally mature man of the world who loves the idea of the fruit of his loins. All right. He is just into that idea. Family is paramount to this man. He is not squeamish. We've seen him hold young Ian with like care and tenderness and love as a baby. He is so into it. He has taken other children into his arms and raised them as his own. Fergus, Marsley, Joni, Ian. He does it all the damn time. He loves children. He loves the babies. One that is literally of his own blood that he can love on and recognize as his own blood. You're telling me that man would even let that baby go? No, he would have had it and would never have let it go. And I have never.
And he's always taking care of it in the book too.
Yes.
Like, he's always holding the baby. He's so into it. Like, why are you omitting that? It's really weird.
Candace Michelle said they did the same thing when they finally showed Fergus's baby. They never let Jamie hold him. And then she was like, oh, maybe they're saving the baby moment for Bree's baby.
Ridiculous. Although it would have been even more ridiculous if he had been like that with Jamal and then Jamal, and then not have done it at all with Bree's baby.
Yeah.
It would have been even more glaring mistake. But the fact that he didn't do it for either one of them is ridiculous. It means that the writers literally do not understand that character. He's more maternal than Claire is. Literally. Like, he's more into that than she is. And it's just ridiculous that it's not a problem. And then if you have not read Drums of Autumn and you don't know what the birthing scene is really like. It's one of the most beautiful scenes in the whole series. Jamie literally, Brianna begs him not to leave the room, begs him to stay and help her through it, which is beautiful. All right. And then he literally just spends hours while she's laboring telling her story. Yes. He's walking her. He's like holding her hands.
Massaging.
He's letting her like grip onto him because he's strong and she needs to be. And also she's supposed to be huge. So like the fact that she would be able to like hold on to like Jocasta or Claire doesn't make any sense because like her grip is probably like really strong.
She's 6 feet tall.
Right. So she does it to him, right? But she begs him not to leave. And he tells her stories for hours to the point where the both of them are hoarse, her from screaming and him from calming her down. Do you know how beautiful that is?
Yeah.
Like, you need to read it. You need to be invested in that scene, and you'll understand why there is not a single person. I haven't seen anybody be okay with the fact that that was omitted. Now, there are people who love the show and won't say anything negative, but I think even those people are like, what the fuck? It's just what is happening?
How could they have enjoyed that episode? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know how anybody could have. They
Our
much.
good friend Karen liked the episode, and she was going to join us tonight. But it's
That's great. What a bitch!
It's 3 a.m. where she is, so I'm glad she's
wrong.
sleeping and that she's not here. But like she said, she liked it. Okay, I cannot be okay with it. But I told you guys last week, like I knew it was coming. I knew they weren't going to be there, and I knew it was going to be heinous and ridiculous, and it was. It hugely wrong. Like I cannot believe they didn't do it. But we do need to pick a winner for tonight.
Yeah. We could just keep talking about the things we hated all night long.
We could. I have a lot. I don't think I got to all of them.
The comments on YouTube are just like, yeah. If for those of you about to leave us a hating comment on YouTube after you watch this later, after you watch an entire hour and 10-minute thing to just leave us a negative comment, go ahead and read the archive of the comments during this conversation, which you can read. Nobody liked this episode.
No.
Twitter is on fire. They just been killing it and agree with us as well.
I did have a couple of people tell me that that my review was too negative, and I get it. I understand that you feel that it's negative.
It was very long and negative.
Very long and negative?
You found a lot to say.
You found more than I found to say about the penultimate episode. I didn't even do 10.
Well, if I'm talking about things I didn't like, I can go on and on and on. But again, it's one of those shows that like if I didn't love the source material as much as I would have given up on it. Like I didn't watch Turn for more than a season and a half because I was like, I don't even like that show. I
gave up on that too.
If they can't keep my interest, you didn't keep my interest. And I'm actually shocked if there are actual show watchers who've never read the books who are still interested in this show. Just because, not because they're missing book moments, because those people wouldn't know it, but because it's just not doing a good job of telling a good story.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I'm very sad about the whole thing.
We have a group. We have a friend, Natasha. I shouldn't have said her name, but we have a friend named Natasha. And she posts on sometimes like about, I don't even know if she's watching anymore. She may have given up halfway through the season, but I remember like, I don't know where her friends come from. We have a couple crossover friends, but I've seen on her Facebook page, like her write one thing about how she hated something in an episode. And then there's just like hundreds of comments on just her normal Facebook page of all these people that like, I loved it. They love the books. I've been reading this forever and I hate it. And the people that I don't know, I don't recognize them from That's Normal. They're totally a different contingent of people. I don't think they're the ones that get online and watch us on Monday nights.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but they do not like the show. And so I always feel very validated when I read that.
Well, I have like real life friends who I brought into the books when I first read them. And they literally didn't get past like the first season. Like literally they were like, that is not a good show.
Yeah.
Like not like they couldn't get their husbands to watch it, etc. And so if they couldn't get their husbands to watch it, they're not going to spend like hours and hours and hours going on. And they're just like, I'm just going to live with the books. And that's just not going to be what I'm doing.
My boyfriend's grandmother has a friend over every couple episodes, her and her husband, and they're, in their 80s, and they all watch it. They have tea and they watch it. So a couple weeks ago, they watched 5 episodes, 5 hours from 12 to 5, caught up on 5.
Wow.
And she said something funny, like, I don't even really like it, but they really do. And she's read the books. Like, and I didn't she has no idea that I'm like in this fandom at all. I wasn't going to tell her. I'm like, yeah, I watch it too. It's not that good.
It's annoying because we spend so many hours watching it and writing about it and talking about it. And it's not even like my favorite show. Like I like so many other shows so much more.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
I devote way more time to this show than shows I really care about.
Yeah. I mean, eventually we're going to start talking about Discovery of Witches, which was great. Next week, February 5th, The Hangout of Witches. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
You need to watch the whole
Tuesday.
thing before our next hangout, Beth.
Next Tuesday.
The whole thing.
Do you have to watch the whole thing, or are we going to have spoilers?
I hope we're just. I think we're just going to talk about maybe 1 to 2 episodes. I don't think we'll be able to talk about the whole thing.
Good to know, because I also have not watched it.
It's so good.
I know. I've only watched the first episode. I want to watch it some other time.
True. Oh, can we talk about what that quote from Sam today that was in Harper's Bazaar?
Yes, we do need to talk about that.
People have mentioned it.
Yes. So the quote is that Sam says that him and Kat would really like to be more creatively involved in the choices for their characters, and that they're dealing with Stars and Sony to be more involved. And we take that to say they didn't agree with a lot that's happened this season and maybe some past moments. But also it might be because they haven't even started the 5th season shooting, correct? Or did they've just
done like table reads but I mean, even they're in pre-production. Obviously they're in production for season 5. It's not even pre-production now. I'm sure they've written scripts. So
Hargrave says that that's code for they don't like the showrunners. I mean,
and I think they are probably trying to renegotiate their contracts. Good for them. They should, and they should get a producer credit, probably what they're trying to do. And hopefully they will actually have legitimate say in some of the things that happen. Hopefully.
Right. Also because I don't think that his quote was really, it wasn't very mealy-mouthed. I felt like it was very strong. I mean, I'm looking at it. He says, we're hoping next season to have a lot more influence in the characters and the storyline and be a part of that creatively. We're usually involved, and some seasons have been stronger than others. But we're possibly talking with Stars and Sony right now. We'll see. That's a strong statement.
Yeah.
That's not like a mealy-mouthed, I kind of want to be creatively involved with what my character does. That's just saying like some seasons are better than others.
And this is not one of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty damning.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, I think Katrina said some things like that too. She's talked about how Claire was just like in the background a little bit. She's just happy this season. She's just, not doing a whole lot. And, but Heather Hargrave just said, Sam and Kat are not the only ones who've questioned direction. Rick Rankin has also said he's made suggestions.
Well, that's why they gave him shitty things. They don't like him.
Yeah, I mean,
he offended someone.
I think it starts with the scripts, and I think it starts with the way that they break the scripts down. And they can make better, even if they kept the exact same arcs and all of the episodes were exactly how they were this season. There are still moments where they could have just written these characters better.
Yeah.
How much time was spent in the finale with them not saying anything?
Right.
It's like them writing dialogue was too hard.
Right.
Sophie comes down from supposedly being upset and depressed up in her room. We never saw her upset and depressed. She never cries. She just comes down and they quietly pass the potatoes. Why is no one talking? Like, where is the information that we need to be involved in why she's doing what she's doing? And there's nothing going on. They just are so poorly written.
Mm-hmm. And for him to invoke the name of the studios and networks that produce these shows and not the actual production company is also an interesting tidbit.
Also because nobody else in the production, other than Tobias, but nobody else other than Kat and Sam have any cachet, really.
Yeah.
Everybody else, this is the biggest thing they've ever done. And not that Sam and Kat have done stuff that's bigger, but they are becoming, I mean, Kat's been nominated 4 times for a Golden Globe.
Right.
That's not nothing.
Right.
And she's been in actual real movies.
Right. She's the second female lead in that Money Monster movie. I mean, that's a huge part for her.
Yeah.
And Sam, I don't really know about this superhero movie that he's filming right now or just filmed in Budapest or whatever. But I mean, I don't think that, he had a good part in that as well. So, I mean, they have a lot more weight now. And so they can negotiate to do a lot more. And I hope that they do. I mean, I think that beyond anybody else in the production, the two of them actually understand their characters really well. And could do a whole lot with them in the future that maybe Matt and Meryl and Tony don't really care to bother with.
Right. And talking to them, we've talked to them many times, listening to interviews with them, reading them. They're both incredibly smart individuals and have really interesting things to say. And that's not an ass kiss thing. Like a lot of actors are like, I love working out. Like, you know, these people are actually interesting and could provide some needed
depth,
just background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they want to do. I mean, I would love to see what Sam wants to do with Jamie that he just hasn't got to do. That's really fascinating to me.
Cuddle babies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about what we're thinking about season 5? What are they even going to do, or what do people think they're going to do? When do we think we're going to see it? Next year, probably.
Well, they haven't started filming, so it'll definitely be 2020. If anybody is waiting for it to happen in 2019, no, it's not. I would say summer of 2020 at the earliest.
Has it been a year and a half between seasons? Ish? Mm-hmm. Over a year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, don't anticipate that it's going to be anytime soon. As far as what they're going to do with the book, I remember so little of the Fiery Cross. And from what I've garnered out of like interviews that I've read and stuff like that, I think that it will definitely be a little bit of the Bree and Roger show. I think we're going to start out with Bree and Roger. And then they're going to be bringing in the Revolutionary War a lot sooner than it really shows up in the books.
Right, because I don't think that was in the Fiery Cross, because I actually read that one and I don't remember.
This whole raise up a militia storyline that they jammed right into the very end of the finale.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't even talked about the actual finale.
Right. It actually makes more sense. It does make sense for Jamie to go to the gathering, which if anybody knows through the books, the very last scene of Drums is them going to the gathering, which is a Scottish
my favorite scene, and they just dumped it.
And it's the exact year and a day since, you know, Brianna and Roger's hand fasting. And then that's when they like decide to actually stay married. It's really sweet. But the gathering then becomes at least the first third of the Fiery Cross. Claire's pulling teeth and looking at people's moles and shit. And it's like super annoying and it takes forever. And there's like dirty diapers with the baby. And then there's all these people that just keep coming to Jamie's fire, and he goes and talks to other people. He sees people that he knew from Ardsmuir, and like, you know, they see all these people that they know from the Scottish Highlands, and they have all the clan gathering and everything. And then the Fiery Cross, of course, is literally a cross on fire. It's literally like the start of the Ku Klux Klan, but whatevs. So it's this whole like Scottish imagery thing that happens in the New World. And it makes more sense. I think it makes good sense because the gathering is so kind of boring for the gathering to be a place where Jamie has to muster a militia.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good adaptation.
Yes. So I think that the first several episodes will be dealing with that aspect of what's going on, whether or not Myrta is there. And then, of course, I do think Myrta will stand in for Duncan Ennis. I would like to see Myrta just change his appearance and become someone else, not be Myrta Fitzgibbons, and, you know, maybe be Duncan Ennis in terms of just trying to keep himself safe. Maybe he marries Costa in order to do that. But I don't remember anything else that happens in that book. So I have no idea where season 5 is going to go narratively. But I thought I understood a little bit better about this season was going to go narratively, and it didn't.
No,
so
you were wrong.
And maybe we'll see where Lord John Grey ran off to and never came back from.
And Willie.
Whatever. Just
whoever Willie is.
Who cares?
Maybe we'll see.
Did Brianna and Willie meet?
Not in Drums. I don't know if they meet.
They do. That. Maybe they meet in the Fiery Cross. Because I feel like I read that.
I don't think they meet in the Fiery Cross. I think they maybe meet later on.
Okay.
Tell us, commenters and tweeters.
Honestly, so many people I'm sure know, but like,
Yeah.
I don't. I really, it took me 18 months to read that book. I've never picked it back up, and I have not read Beyond. So I feel like I'm going into season 5 like a babe in the woods, just a babe in the water weeds. That's how I'm looking at season 5. I'm like Nikki in season 5, but how Nikki was in season 1.
They don't meet till 7 or 8. People are saying.
Someone just asked if Nikki Ward. She just asked if Bonnet is dead. She feels like no. I don't think Bonnet is dead.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, I think
they made that pretty obvious.
They would have shown him had been dead.
Yeah, with the dumb keys, when the biggest trope in the world.
Right. We need him around to do some more raping.
Yep.
And Nikki was so right last week when she said that like at least Brie had like this redeeming moment where she tries to save Bonnet from dying in the jail, and then like on the in the books, and then on the show she just doesn't give a shit at all. She does like a blow and she's like fuck him, and she just running out.
Like, let's take the red coat, forget this guy.
100% she's cool with him dying after doing like this whole absolution bullshit. Oh man, it's so funny. I do wonder how they're going to bring Frank into season 5.
Oh, they'll find a way. It's fine. Just some flashback. Maybe Blackjack will just come back around. We don't really know if he's dead. They left that one open.
That's true.
Tobias brings the good donuts. It's fine. They'll find a way to bring him back.
Who's going to have those weird Prince Philip eyebrows though that he has going on?
Or it's just this.
It's so blonde. It's so wrong. It's blonde and wrong.
All right, I'm putting my bangs back on so we can wrap this, and you guys can remember the thing that you're going to win. We got to pick a winner, and I got to go to bed.
This is an extra long Hangoutlander.
No, and guys, we had more people join as the longer we got, so I guess
did everybody like skip Sam? Did everybody skip Ask Sam? Did they
have like more viewers now than we ever have?
Guys, I love you guys. I love it.
She's not saying that just because she had 6 kegs of champagne.
I had so much prosecco. I've had.
If you missed the beginning, which you probably did because there's more people now than there were. I'm wearing red bangs in celebration, and
also my notes from this season are in this notebook.
I was right about. Mail it to Tony.
Oh God!
I actually bought this notebook to send. It was like a joke Christmas present for our friend Karen. I thought she would really like it.
And then he kept it.
But I thought it was too cheesy because it's just a regular like composition notebook that somebody just put something on. And I was like, I thought it was gonna be like leather and embroidered, and it wasn't. Anyway, Karen, this was supposed to be for you, but I kept it and I put my Hangoutlander notes in it. Just so everybody knows.
All right, let's do this thing. I'm putting your merkin back in a little cap so you can send this to you.
You've been playing with that cap the whole time, and I literally was like, "Did she turn into a lunch lady? Did something happen? Do I need to be worried about her like
hair
career?"
Cap?
It's my merkin cap.
If you win this, I really ask that you pull out the 1/2 inch or the 1/4 inch curling iron and do some spiral perm curls and put it in and send us a picture. That's the prerequisite.
Done, but
that is the prerequisite. If you don't do that, we're going to
ask for it back.
Come and get all of your shit back from you. I've had so much to drink.
You have. All right, who's our winner? Nikki, do you want to announce it?
Oh yeah. Our winner of the Merkin and the fan pack of shit we've gathered for 10 years is Prickles and Picks, because you gave us all of the realness.
Wait, it's Prickles? It's not Pickles?
Pickles.
I think it's Prickles. I had to go back and read it.
Okay.
Pick a different person.
Mel has read the books, just said Google Map Lady deserves the prize. Is she the Google Map Lady?
She is the Google Map
There
lady.
you go.
That's what I think.
She just punched all the holes in the terrible plot.
So Pickle, I'm calling you Pickles and Pricks. I don't care. Can you email us at admin@thats-normal.com and send us your address, please?
Your address and your phone number and your mother's maiden name.
We don't need those things.
And sign that you're gonna curl your bangs.
Yes, yeah, exactly. A contract. Yes, very excited. Sorry for the rest of you that can't win this. Here, I'll do a little modeling. What it could look like.
You have not had enough to drink to be doing that right now.
We've only had water. That's the crazy part.
I know.
All right, guys, listen up. Hangoutlander has come to an end. This was a long episode of Hangoutlander, but it did have 20 minutes of sycophantic positivity Outlander hour. So Hangoutlander still lasted at about an hour. But we want you guys to continue to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, but hang out with us with Hangout of Witches. It's gonna be super fun. It's a show that we actually loved from a book series that I didn't love as much. I didn't love Discovery of Witches.
Great adaptation.
The show made the books better. I went back and read them and liked them more because the show was so good. So that hangout's going to be a lot of fun. And we hope that you join us. It starts next week on the Lunar New Year. And I hope you're there for it. In the meantime, we will have other Outlander stuff to talk about. Trust me, it's not over. It's never over. And if you haven't gone back, guys, we have 4 seasons of Hangoutlander that you can watch.
Yep. Podcasts.
And you could review us. You could also review us and just give us a little kudos for filling up your Monday nights occasionally.
Do that on iTunes. That's where it matters. We actually have some good reviews on there. There's a couple of negative ones because, why not? Wouldn't be us if it wasn't. But there's some good ones.
Did you know that we were invited to the set last season? Like Nikki went to the set, guys. We have set interviews.
Yep.
We're a big deal. Go like us. Follow us around.
Drunk and eating goldfish, which is I'm very jealous about.
I asked Sam about his hair on that set visit, so you're all welcome.
And she got to see Tobias in his natural habitat. It was a good time.
Hot. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go to bed. I love you all. Thanks for watching this season.
We love you. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, Andy, that was when people hated on Becca. It was a different interview that we did.
A different interview.
That was in New York City.
Accent.
It's not us if people don't hate.
That's right. It's right. But we love all of you. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week on a Hangout of Witches and other stuff that we do. We love you guys.
Love ya.